Hi everyone, this is your interviewer Farah, and I have here with me Mr. Dharmic. Welcome. Can you please introduce yourself and your organization?
Yeah, my name's Dharmic Meggi. I work at Avanti House Secondary School, part of the Avanti Schools Trust. And my job is examinations lead at Avanti. I've been working across the trust and supporting other schools in examinations, but now more recently in the Harrow area, supporting the schools part of the Harrow Collegiate. And my other role is actually supporting schools in governance.
That's incredible. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations for the award. What would you say are some of your greatest achievements?
Wow, I could say all sorts. For me, I think I go home every day inspired is when I know that I'm making a student's day or education so much more better. You know, having an impact on one student and then making sure it's every student you come across having that impact on a daily basis. For me, is what makes a difference. It's when a student comes sad, having a little bit of anxiety or stress, making that impact. For me, that's my biggest achievement. But then on a bigger scale, it's from in my governance, supporting schools that, in the UK we have Ofsted, is supporting schools that need to improve in their, organization, their leadership, their structural, moving them on to the next scale for the Ofsted ratings. But then also with examinations is actually supporting schools that have not passed inspections with JCQ and making sure that they are ready and they have the structures, the policies, everything in place for the next inspection and ensuring they pass. So that for me has been one of my greatest achievements.
That's truly very impressive and inspiring. Can you tell us more about the pandemic and the return to examinations?
Oh wow, good question. The pandemic, obviously, in many ways, a lot of businesses, schools, education, the public sector, the impact has actually been, I can almost say, unlimited. Unknown about. But in terms of examinations, wow, quite intense. Quite intense for for the future economy. Quite intense for the younger generation who have to do exams and just coming back to normality. It's easier said than done. Our students. I from having conversations with students and parents. It's the trauma behind it, the anxiety, the impact of their mental health. And when they hear the word exam, the impact it can have on some students. I've had students that have significant trauma where we need to work on strategies to make sure they're able to even sit in the exam hall, sort of thing. It's the impact, it's almost like we didn't know it was coming, absolutely. But, you know, I've coming away from the pandemic, we've had to ensure that we have good strategies in place to ensure we're catering the unique needs of each and every student, just making sure that they are prepared for their exams. And, with the pandemic, we don't know what's happened back home or back home with their extended families and the impact it's had on them and their ability to do exams. And I think that is why it's very important that, we've had this consideration. And that's why kind of my role came about, is actually ensuring that we're having a positive impact and being prepared and supporting the students that have other things going on in their circumstances.
And what do you think are some of those strategies that education leaders should be implementing when it comes to exams?
Well, obviously, we've seen, especially in the UK, for those schools that are based in the UK or even do IGCSEs internationally, it's being prepared a step ahead. There's I think one of the weaknesses key leaders, is probably not a weakness, but actually something that education leaders need to think about and reconsider is when are we preparing students for exams? And for me, it needs to be from the beginning, and not just students, but also parents, because parents play a key part in putting pressure, stress, anxiety on students. And for me, it's not fair on them because near the exam time, they have coursework, they have the preparation for their exams. They don't need the unnecessary stress and pressure from other people. Strategies for revision, the tactics for revising, preparing for your specification, and how to an experience of sitting an exam, that all should be prepared in the beginning. But also parents need to be informed. One of the ways we can reduce the impact on mental health being negative and reducing trauma, anxiety in the lead up to exams is actually telling students from the beginning that this is what it looks like. Perhaps even bringing alumni involved into this conversation because they have sat these exams. They're almost an expert, bringing it into the experiences of the students and showing them, telling them this is what it looks like and what can you do about it now. Not nearer when there's like 3 months left to your exams or 2 months left to your exams and then telling them, now I'm going to tell you how to revise, the whole syllabus, or sending a communication out to parents saying, your child has a public exam in the next couple of months. This is the sort of thing they need to be doing. It needs to be beforehand. And the strategies, get those mental health practitioners, get these professional speakers to come into your school and actually speak to your students. But again, not close up to the exam time, way before in advance, so that actually it's installed. And when they are coming to the exam build-up point, they're fully prepared and they know what they need to do, so they don't need to, be as much as nervous as they feel during the build-up to exams.
And so, when it comes to preparing students for exams, what are some tips that you could give to people involved in that process? Where do we start?
Well, I think it starts back in the classroom, but for teachers, it's actually constantly giving them tips and revision. And when you do in-class assessments, actually try and mimic it what it would look like in the real exam. I've seen poor assessments in a few schools now, and actually some schools, have they do past papers in classes, which is brilliant, but in the real exam, they won't know that, they won't know the question that's going to come up. If you're giving a student a past paper, they can straight away search it on the internet. They're much more advanced than we are. They can search it instantly and, get this information. Make it realistic, make your own questions perhaps, or use a question bank where they can't even find out where this paper came from. So some things like that, keep it like almost secretive for them to, get the information, because we need to make sure that they know the knowledge with them, not looking up the question on the internet, not understanding the mark scheme, because that is not education. They should be able to apply that. And if we're not using good enough assessments that are going to reflect their actual public examinations, it's something that we need to reconsider.
Definitely, it at this point it becomes like they're just trying to collect as many grades as they can, and it has nothing to do with learning something new. So, can you tell us what is a piece of advice that you would give to someone who would like to follow the same path as yours?
Well, I think it's having a collective strategy across schools. You need to have a platform where teachers have a full understanding of what a key assessment should look like, but then also having collective talks, collective sessions with what an assessment build-up should look like. Have those revision strategies in place, but have it as a regular sort of reminder to a student, have those hints in place, have it all organized and structured, and make it clear from the beginning. So I, as a parent, many parents would like to know, what are we doing as a school to prepare students from the beginning? What are teachers doing? What are key leaders doing? And what services are available to a student? And these are the sort of approaches schools should have in place, because one thing we have to bear in mind in education, and it's definitely come from the pandemic to learn from, is a lot can go wrong in an unexpected time. I've seen students that have 3 months into their examination, something's gone really wrong. So it's, if we have the structures in place, we're organized and we're telling students, look, this is what we have for you here. If at any time this goes wrong or whatever, go to this person, have these facilities, have it open, have it ready, or have it like a tutor program, which is one of the things we've done in our school, and it's been phenomenal. Having those options beginning, the clarity from the beginning, so that when they're very close up to their exams, they know where they need to go and what they need to do.
Absolutely. That is brilliant advice. And now, if anyone would like to reach out to you for more advice or to collaborate, where can they find you?
Definitely, they can find me on LinkedIn. If they just search my name, I'm sure they'll find it, Dharmic Meggi. Connect with me from LinkedIn. I've already connected with a few schools in Dubai and internationally. So I do know there's a network that wants to build connections and actually work in structures and how we can reorganize this, including GEMS education. So definitely connect, and we'll have a lot more to share.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Dharmic. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much.